Gigi had a bit of time to get
It was his idea, like Gigi, aka Samurai.
I was wired once upon a time with 7/4, 6/8. Odd riff.
But you see, I think with you do this thing where, I mean, I've done it occasionally, and I've seen musicians. You're not thinking in 7/4. You're just going, I like it when it sounds like I like it when it sounds.
Exactly,
I just go there then,
and
you make the riff up as it's feeling to you at that moment, and then someone like Mary comes along and goes, "Oh, how interesting! You're in 9/8," and then you go, "Am I?" And you go, "Yeah."
Oh, great.
Go,
Who am I?
Well, fuck it.
You should listen to the new tracks we have right now.
Because that's just how, and it makes complete musical sense. In fact, that's one of the cool things. All of your guys' songs in Weird Times.
Yeah.
You don't really think about when you, as a listener, you don't hear the so-called, there's air quotes going on, the cleverness, like with some proggy type of music, which I've generally not been a big fan of because it sounds too heady and it's not like felt as much. Whereas with your guys' riffs, it's a bit like the artist that springs to mind, nothing like your guys' style, but somebody like Sting, who's very famous for doing weird time signatures in pop songs, but they never sound clever. It just sounds musical and it sounds like the song. You can still sing it and it feels good. That's what I get from your guys' riffs. Like when you're doing a 7/4 or something, it's not just for the sake of it. It's because that's how the riff goes. Yeah, and then it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I think it's good to preserve that as well. I think it's actually should never really straighten that out, because actually that's really inventive.
It's part of the DNA.
But what's funny when you hear the riff in 7/4, it means that initially it was in 9/16 or something even crazier.
Simplified down
so
to
it's actually a simplified version. It's
I'd like to hear it in 9/16. Can you sing it?
Oh, actually, yeah. Why not? Then it's like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. It's 9/16 is actually just you can divide it into 3 3 3.
It's 9 4.5.
Exactly.
1 2 3 1 2
So it's actually
1 2 3.
So. But it depends, what's the phrasing.
It's not for people to dance to, though.
Well, hang on a second. 9/16. That's just 3 over 4.
You're going to fall over.
9/16. 9/16. It's basically, if you think about it, it's actually 3/8. So that's not a science.
Problem is when you
no, 9/16.
No. It's
not
sorry.
3/8.
No, it's 3/8. It's no. You're right. It's
So you can't divide 16 by 3. So you can't.
No. It'll be
9/16.
Yeah.
I gamble, so you can't do the odds that way.
I think this is where half of your listeners have basically
tuned out. Edit this bit out. They've all fallen asleep. What the fuck? 9/16.
No, the thing with the old times or all that stuff, it's just really basically you're thinking the phrases which can be counted in twos, threes, and fours. So when you have a 9/16, you have a 9 and 6. That's a bar of 16 notes.
And the way I think about it is like bags of weed.
Yeah.
How many? If you think of an eighth of an ounce, that's what we used to call a banky. It's simple.
I think of it in gambling terms. You're betting on you're betting on Man United to win. Is it 9/16, or is it basically 4.5 8s? You can't do 4.5 8, so it's 9/16.
It's basically 2 bags of weed. But you see that this is where I think if you got to have that counterbalance, because like technically on the one hand you think of one way, we're more on the rock and roll end of things, and Andy, which is sort of on the extreme end of like, well, I don't fucking give a fuck, just fucking play the song, sort of thing. Whereas, which
right
actually,
at that extreme.
I'm trying to get further down onto that extreme. So I can imagine why, if you were having these early recording experiences, which you were finding a bit tense, and you're trying to divide 3 into 16, and you got some other producer sitting there who's fucking trying to help you
and he's
do
just
that.
bored,
Whereas we'd be going, fucking smoke this or drink that, or who's at the door? It's fucking the girls have just turned up or something, like we're trying to steer it away from the fucking 9/16s.
I miss those days. No, Gavin's right, but I think just to bring order to that concept, the main thing is there's 2 ways that happens, and I think you've always been on the right side of that, because when you do that kind of thing. It sounds like music, and that's fine. You don't need to sit and do the maths. It's very difficult if you're the drummer because you sort of have to, otherwise you're going to miss the point. But if you're a listener, it sounds like music. Whereas if you're working with the wrong, you know, on the wrong side of that track, and there are many bands out there that are just trying to impress by confusing you with time signatures, then that's really boring, and it's not really music. It's just a mathematics excercise that it's not
typing, as you used to call it.
It's typing. I used to call it typing, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. It's like there's a type of music, it's like a math core or something. It's actually got a math, you know, in the
it's good. It's good. It's an education program, that is. Math core.
Math core.
We're sending our son to math core. He's got his guitar and he's going to do math core.
Yeah, you're right. The thing is, you know, when you use the old times and the numbers, or like any music knowledge you acquired through the years, you know, of experience, to the wrong purpose, you know, just kind of impress, or just, you know, to appear clever, it's completely wrong, of course, you know. So we don't have a trouble with that. It just these things happen, you know, when you're trying to put it in some form, you know, and that's exactly like you do something, and initial idea, you like it, and then you trying to create a song from it, and then when you need to kind of, because as it's two of us, it's a bass and guitar, and that and when we create a song, it's Samurai will come with the riff. The riff is crazy, and I love it. It's like, wow, it has some vibe, you know, and you feel the vibe, and then you start to get the direction of it, and then you play with the other parts. Okay, this is the intro, this is you know, the bridge, and you know, you go to the songwriting process, but it's not like a thing you try to be clever. It's just you feel where that riff or those few notes will lead you, and then the lyrics, they're coming. The thing when we started the first song, you know, Most Sacred Thing in the Universe, it wasn't like I sit down and just kind of like, okay, I want to write something clever, something about the God and what is sacred and blah blah blah. It was just it came naturally to what I heard in the music, and I feel that's always like that. You do something, and it must feel right. But if you want to put it in the world, in the real situation, you need to explain to the drummer like where the bars are, and this is the intro, this is the verse, you know. So you're forced to those mathematics. Actually, it's not something natural, and I'm not like I'm not keen on that process. You know, I love the creative process. I love when it comes to you. When
Can you write some songs in 4/4 next time?
That's a bit boring, no?
Don't argue with the past. It worked for the Beatles. You know?
No, the thing is, 4/4 is brilliant. Of course, we love that. You know, it's all about the phrases. You know, I don't think in 4/4 or 5/6 or whatever it is. You know, it's all about the phrase. You know, it's like how the melody works with the words.
You know, this is interesting because I can't remember which artist it was, but it was very much. I mean, a lot of lyrically based artists work this way, where if you analyze the music, there's a lot of odd things going on in the structure. It's not a very predictable sequence of changes, say. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the time, the reason is because it's written around a lyric, which so in other words, the music is accommodating a lyrical idea which isn't going to move for the music. So like normally you would go two bar, a bar on that chord, a bar on that chord, a bar on that. But you know, like if you look at, you know, people like Rufus Wainwright or you know, there's a lot of these sort of
agree. That's
even Billy Joel.
Very good point.
In fact, even old blues would do it. Like guys would hang on a chord longer just to say what they had to say, and then they'd go to the change. If you listen to some of that really old blues stuff, it doesn't follow the very predictable bar changes.
Exactly.
Because they've actually got some shit to say, and they're saying it, and they're hanging on that first chord before now I've said it, and now I'm going to change. And actually, in a way, that's what you're talking about with the riffs, or with what you're saying, is that it's not like we're going to just set up this generic structure and we're going to fit our riffs and our lyrics into it. It's like we want to actually expand the format a little bit and say what we want to say, play the riff the way we want to play it, and the drums and everything else is just going to follow that.
Yeah,
we both love stoner rock bands, and when you listen to them, it's they play many times in odd times, and they're really in a crazy timings. But it's not something clever, because they're not thinking in the terms of what we are talking, the music theory and the 9/16 or 7/8 or whatever, odd times. They just play the riffs, how they feel them. And because they're together and they're playing, they're all in sync, and they can play very actually kind of complicated music on 2-3 notes, and it's like a composition. Is this for me? It's a symphony. It's brilliant. Another example is like Gojira. They play in 4/4, but it sounds in odd times. So it could be the other way around. You play in a regular timing, but because your phrasing is so odd, or Cuban music, or African music, it's in a 6/8 or 4/4, but when you listen to it, there is no first and third beats. You're missing them. They're always playing across the bars. It's all about the phrases, and you count the phrases, the clave. It's just it's on 4/4, but you don't feel it in the way how you feel like 1, 2, boom, boom, ba-rum, ba-bum. That's where I'm coming from. My folk music, it's all based on the first and the third beat. That's how you feel it. When you're coming from a gospel or from the blues, you feel like you feel the second and the fourth. And then when the people, they're listening to the music, like a funk or gospel or blues, when they want to just join the band, they start to clap on the second and the fourth naturally. Not because they're trained, or they just feel like that.
Exactly.
But if you have a blues band in Czech Republic, all the guys, they're playing this beautiful shuffle, stuff, and the Czech guys go 1, 2, and boom, and they make it their own music, when they clap.
It's funny because in the sort of Western music, that's kind of considered uncool.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
if people start clapping on the 1 and the 3.
Should hear what they do in Nuneaton.
No.
Normally, we fire them. When they do that.
yeah.
Someone comes in there clapping on the 1
anyway,
and the 3.
I think we covered the time signatures.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah. I just woke up and wondered what all these people are doing in my bedroom.
No, that's true. That's true. It's enough about but the thing is, it's a really important part of what we do. Just
no, I think it's a significant point.
It's what most of our riffs and the music it's based around. That it's very free in the structure in that way.
Anyone fancy a cashew?
But there is no intention into it. Like we don't like sit around and just trying to make it nice.